But in the end, just 4 days before the election, Coolidge, ever the party regular, finally gave Hoover an extraordinarily effusive public endorsement in a prearranged telegram that evoked sensational newspaper headlines. Hoover, he declared, had shown his fitness to be president. Hoover said Coolidge was able, experienced, trustworthy, and safe. Hoover was grateful. Republican leaders were jubilant and relieved. And when Hoover won in a landslide, Coolidge hailed the result as an endorsement of his own administration and announced that he could now retire from office in contentment. The president's term, however, still had 4 months to run, and he was known to be very touchy about his prerogatives. No doubt with these sensitivities in mind, Hoover proposed that he, Hoover, take a semi-official goodwill tour of Latin America after the election. Coolidge agreed. And so, from November 19, 1928, until early January 1929, Hoover not only stayed out of Washington, better still, he stayed out of the country. On March 4th, 1929, fulfilling an ambition that had touched his soul for a decade or longer, Herbert Hoover became President of the United States. He had done so without ever having held an elective public office. For an hour and a half during the ceremonies, he and Calvin Coolidge stood, sat, and walked side by side without saying a word to each other. In his inaugural address, Hoover politely paid tribute to his predecessor. When the ceremonies at the Capitol were over, the two men said goodbye, and the ex-president took a train home to New England.